What's up, guys, and welcome to Xbox Ready, the YouTube channel that is all about Xbox. I'm Ray, and I'm back with another video to help keep you updated on everything going on in the world of Xbox. And yeah, there is a lot of stuff to talk about today. But remember, if you want to stay Xbox Ready, make sure you subscribe to the channel and set your notifications to be alerted to whenever I post a new video. So rumors have been flying, saying that Xbox is planning on bringing former exclusives over to other platforms like the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. Exclusives like 2023 sleeper hit Hi-Fi Rush and multiplayer pirate adventure game Sea of Thieves. And while all of this is still in the rumor category at this point, the likelihood that it's gonna happen seems to grow with every passing day. Tom Warren over at The Verge was even able to confirm that data mine assets that seem to depict promotional materials for a PS5 and Switch release of Hi-Fi Rush are in fact real. It doesn't stop there though. Over the weekend we got news that Microsoft is also exploring the possibility of bringing their big budget AAA exclusives to PlayStation 5. Games like Starfield, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and even Gears of War. You can probably guess what happened next. Gaming Twitter blew up. Notable Xbox fans renounced their love for Xbox. They're done with Xbox. Which I think is pretty funny, man. Like, we're lucky enough to have an audience that cares enough about what we're talking about and what we have to say in a way that other people don't have access to. Like, bro, we're not D1 recruits committing to schools or declaring for the draft or something like that. We're not celebrities, man. And in the midst of all that chaos, the man himself, Phil Spencer, broke the silence. Well, sort of. He came out on Twitter and he said, "We're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week where we look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned." Now, it sucks that fans have to wait a whole week to get an explanation on what's going on from Xbox leadership. And make no mistake, we are owed an explanation. Xbox fans, we have put up with a lot for decades. The Red Ring of Death, the launch of the Xbox One, disappointing exclusives. But there's also been a lot of good memories too. And I'm hopeful that Xbox leadership is fighting for a future where Xbox stays in the console market, pushing other platform holders like Sony to offer better services to remain competitive price-wise. Here's how Phil can turn the craziness around and rally the Xbox fan base. Number one, reiterate that Xbox consoles are still gonna be a thing. There's been a lot of talk about Xbox if they potentially went full third-party, full multi-platform, that soon after they would ditch hardware and just focus on being a games publisher. Which logically, that kind of makes sense, right? Like, why waste a bunch of money trying to get people to buy this hardware when you could just maximize profits by being third-party? The numbers definitely support that. They're making a ton of money in content and services, and not a lot of money selling hardware. But Xbox leaving consoles altogether might not be the W that PlayStation fanboys may think it is. If Microsoft were to leave the hardware game, ditch Xbox consoles, it would give PlayStation the opportunity to do whatever they want. They would be fully unchecked. And that's not to diminish all the great work that Nintendo is doing in the space. But Nintendo and PlayStation, they serve two different sects of the market. They offer two distinctly different things and have been able to be successful independent of each other. Xbox is more the direct competitor for PlayStation. I can't really confirm with absolute certainty that this is how it went down, but word on the street is that at the beginning of this generation, PlayStation saw the prices of the Xbox Series S and S and they were like, oh crap, we gotta lower the prices of our own consoles. Without Xbox around, stuff like that is just not happening. If the PlayStation 7 launches and there's no competing Xbox console, what's stopping PlayStation from being like $700 for the PS7? What if you want to play high-end games? We're the only high-end console on the market. Go ahead and pay up. And while Microsoft may be looking at the home console market and thinking, no, there's not a lot of growth here, it's not worth it, I would argue that there's still a need for consoles because simply there is a huge amount of people that prefer to play their video games on a television. Yes, you can play Xbox games on your PC, and a lot of people point to that and they're like, no, Xbox is useless, just get a PC, get a PlayStation 5, get a Nintendo Switch. Yeah, sure, that will make me seem very, very likable. That won't make me look like a dick at all. Yeah, guys, why don't you just buy an Xbox and a PlayStation and a Switch and an $800 to $1,500 PC, maybe a Steam Deck, and you'll be good. There are people out there that just don't want to buy a PC. They don't want to game at a desk or on a monitor. They want to sit on their couch and play on a TV. And if Xbox were to leave hardware entirely, they wouldn't really be able to reach those kinds of customers. And finally, I still believe that the console market is big enough to support 3 platform holders. And people like Jez Corden have assured his followers that Xbox is still going to be in the hardware space, but it would be awesome to hear it from someone like Phil Spencer next week. Maybe he can take the opportunity to hint at some, I don't know, rumored upcoming new Xbox consoles that we've been hearing about, like Elwood and Brooklyn, the revamp of the Series S and the digital Series X. You know what? I'm just spitballing here, but maybe he can drop some hints about the next generation of Xbox consoles. Get us hyped long term for some hardware coming up. Rumors have been swirling about the Xbox Next for weeks at this point. We've been hearing reports that it will launch in 2026, which is just around the corner, and people believe that it will be less powerful but cheaper than the PlayStation 6. Of course, the PlayStation 6 is targeting a 2028 release date according to certain documents that we've seen, effectively making it to where the next generation of Xboxes would have a 2-year jump on them. And earlier today, it seems that we may have gotten some more info on what to expect from this next generation of Xboxes. Over on the XNC podcast, Colt Eastwood and Middle Aged Gamer Guy were chatting, and apparently, according to Middle Aged Gamer Guy, word on the street is that they're still going to be launching these things in 2026, and in my opinion, that is perfect. The Series X and the Series S are awesome. I own both of them, I love them, I spend the majority of my gaming time on either of them. People just don't seem to be buying in the way that I may have thought at the beginning of this generation. It would be better for Xbox to just move on to the next thing in 2026, rather than stick around and invest more money and time in the Series consoles. What Middle Aged Gamer Guy is saying also conflicts with some other things that we've been hearing, specifically that the Xbox Next is delayed because Microsoft took forever to sign a contract with AMD on the next generation of chips. The next Xbox consoles, and I say consoles because apparently there's going to be 2 SKUs just like there is this generation. One will be a traditional high-end, powerful console like the Series X, and the other will be a cheaper model that is more like a Nintendo Switch, an Xbox handheld that you can carry with you, and also dock it to your TV if you want to play it that way. This handheld Xbox is allegedly being developed by the Surface team, and will play Xbox games natively with built-in controls. Also, it's apparently going to have a touchscreen as well. Now, I've been praying for an Xbox handheld for a long time at this point. So all of that sounds dope. I'm down with it. I'm sick of these cloud gaming only devices that keep popping up. No one wants those, man. And I've long felt that Xbox, Microsoft, they can do like a Steam Deck equivalent that runs Windows and plays Xbox games, kind of like the ROG Ally. I do think it's kind of a bold move, a risky move to try to get in on the handheld space, considering that Nintendo pretty much dominates that sector. And it seems that that dominance is going to continue because they're rumored to be putting out a Switch 2 soon. And it's like, do they really want to fight Sony, PlayStation on the high-end console gaming front, and then also at the same time be fighting Nintendo on the handheld battlefield? I'm not so sure. But I will say it matches their play anywhere philosophy that they seem to be really big on this generation. Play your Xbox games how you want, where you want, whenever you want. And it would be so much nicer to have a device that plays Xbox games natively, a first-party device from Microsoft themselves, as a way to play your games on the go versus relying entirely on cloud gaming, which is kind of up and down. Let's be honest, guys. I just gotta admit it. Sometimes it's awesome, other times it's not. Most of the time, I would say it's not. On a side note, highly recommend the XNC podcast. I've met Colt a couple of times, and he's been nothing but nice to me, nothing but cool to me, so shout out to him. Number 2, Phil Spencer needs to give us a firm, concrete answer in regards to these multi-platform rumors. Is Xbox ditching exclusives? While there is a lot of panic in the Xbox community right now, I also see a lot of hope. Why should I believe that Xbox is going multi-platform or going third-party or shipping games like Starfield and Indiana Jones onto PlayStation 5s? It's all just rumors, man. Why is everyone freaking out? And while I can't speak for everyone, I can tell you why I am concerned. I'm concerned mostly because Xbox leadership, seeing all of this happen, seeing all this discourse on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, in the news cycle, at any point, Xbox leadership, I'm talking Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, Aaron Greenberg, Even Todd Howard maybe could have hopped onto Twitter and just shut it down. They could have been like, no, that's not true. Starfield is going to remain exclusive to the Xbox platform. That's it. That's definitely something that they've done in the past. Just a few months ago when Starfield was launching, Todd Howard was talking all this stuff about, oh, exclusivity with Xbox. It ultimately made the game a better product. Oh, when you think of Zelda, you think of Switch, you think of Nintendo. We want that to happen with Starfield. But no one said anything. And when we finally heard from Phil Spencer, it wasn't to shut things down, shut the rumors down. It was to point us to an announcement that's supposed to be made next week. And you gotta wonder, why? Why is it taking a week? Are they sitting down with their PR people and deciding just how to spin this so they don't piss anyone off? Or maybe Xbox leadership is sitting down with Microsoft and saying, please don't ship our big first-party exclusives to other platforms. People have been saying that this is the subject of heated internal debate between Xbox leadership and Microsoft as a greater corporation. I also see a lot of people saying that they're going to stick with Xbox because they like the ecosystem better, they like the controller better, and that Game Pass is awesome. All stuff I agree with. I will 100% back all of those statements. There are a ton of other features I would throw in there as well that make me prefer Xbox over PlayStation, including seamless cloud saves and transfers. But here's why, on top of all that stuff we already love about Xbox, why they should also keep having exclusive games. There's a lot of back and forth on whether or not exclusive games really drive brand engagement, whether it's buying a certain console or subscribing to a certain service. If you look at the actual numbers, the majority of PlayStation owners, many of whom we assume bought a PlayStation 5 to play Spider-Man and God of War or The Last of Us. If you look at the actual numbers, the majority of PS5 owners are not playing those games. They're not playing God of War or Spider-Man or any of that. They're playing games like FIFA, Madden, Call of Duty, which is ironically owned by Xbox now. But looking at the current gaming landscape, my common sense is telling me, yelling at me, that exclusives heavily influence what brand someone chooses to invest in, what console they choose to buy. I don't think it's a coincidence that Switch and PS5, both platforms that have highly celebrated exclusive franchises, continue to have strong sales. Coincidentally, Xbox sales are declining year over year, and that's kind of been the case since the Xbox One generation, when they just so happened to stop having consistently good Xbox exclusives. Exclusives are also the backbone of what makes Game Pass awesome. Getting to play these big budget AAA exclusives day one as part of your subscription, that's a huge draw. But if Xbox started shipping those games onto PlayStation 5, it makes it a little less awesome. Sure, the price appeal is still there. If a game ships onto PlayStation, you're gonna have to pay full price for that, versus over on Xbox, you'll get to play it as part of your subscription, which is like 15, 17 bucks a month. But that hasn't necessarily stopped people from buying the game in the past or driven them to subscribe to Game Pass. A bunch of people bought Hi-Fi Rush on Steam fully knowing that it was going to be available on PC Game Pass. I wonder if Game Pass is a strong enough incentive for people to commit to an Xbox console, knowing full well that it would lock them out of all the PlayStation exclusives. Whereas if Xbox goes multi-platform, if they ship their games onto PlayStation a year or two after, people can buy a PS5 or a PS6, have access to all of those PlayStation exclusives, and then if they wait a year or two later, get all the Xbox ones as well. This is something that Phil Spencer is absolutely going to have to clear up, because it's definitely going to influence people's decision on what console they're going to buy. And if you bought an Xbox, say, over the holidays, specifically to play Starfield and Hi-Fi Rush, and also Indiana Jones coming up, you may be happy with your purchase, and I'm glad you are, because I love my Xbox consoles. But there are definitely going to be some people who are like, dang, I just wasted my money, I should just go buy a PlayStation 5 and I'll get the best of both worlds. I get everything. Number 3, we need more clarification about the recent Xbox gaming division layoffs and how it's affected things. Things started off rocky this year, with Microsoft cutting over 1,900 jobs from their gaming division. This included ZeniMax, Xbox, Activision, Bethesda. That sucks all around. There's no way around that. It's not nearly as many jobs as they cut last year, but it still sucks. And we only ever got like a very corporate, very curated response from Xbox. This could be an opportunity for Xbox to just be more transparent about why the layoffs occurred, and maybe explain how those changes are affecting what's going on right now with these rumors. At the end of the day, we need answers. And we need answers from Xbox, not YouTubers, not influencers on Twitter or TikTok or wherever. We need it straight from the horse's mouth. But I'm remaining hopeful that whatever happens, Xbox ultimately rewards everyone, all of their fans, everyone who made the investment into the Xbox platform for their loyalty. I have to believe that they are looking out for the best interests of their customers and gamers. In the meantime, I am playing Resident Evil 2 on Game Pass, and it is awesome. So while people may be quitting Xbox or selling their Xbox, they're burning their Xbox over this news, after I'm done filming this, I'm gonna go play some Xbox, and I hope you do too.